And it's the same when they send you stuff that's like well outside of their price range, or, and other agents will be like, well, I'm going to just show them so they can kind of, get an idea. It's like, no, you're not doing them any favors by showing them a house that's $300,000 outside of their price range.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Tactical Agent Podcast. And if you are making any mistakes, maybe you're making one of these 3 mistakes in the real estate business. And if you don't want to make mistakes, this is the episode for you, I think.
For at least 3 of them.
At least 3 mistakes. There's gonna be people like, if you wrote down all of your mistakes that you've made in the business, we'll probably only cover like maybe less than 2% of them. I don't know.
Right.
But if you've made these 3 mistakes, you can learn to not make them again or avoid them in the first place. So we'll get into that. I'm Mike. This is Chris. We are the Tactical Agents. If you're watching us on YouTube at the Tactical Agents, thank you. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like on this video. Hit the notification bell. You can watch us anytime we post new content. We're lazy right now with content outside of the podcast. That's really on me. I got to get better at that. But we'll get there. Stay tuned. And then we are live in the Tactical Agents community on Facebook. It is hands down. It's not the biggest yet. It's not even close to the biggest group, but it is the best real estate group on Facebook that people don't know about. TacticalAgents.com. Go there, get registered, find us on Facebook, all that good stuff. We give away all sorts of training for absolutely free with no strings attached. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, drop a rating, a review to say thank you. We appreciate it. You ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do this. 3 mistakes. Now, these are literally random things. I'll go first because this happened to me this week. Number 1, sending offers with no prior communication. Literally got an offer on a listing where I never heard from the agent on a phone call, never heard on a text, no previous email communication, no, not even a text that says, hey, I sent you an offer. Can you just make sure that you got it? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And just woke up to an offer in my inbox. Like, why? I know why I don't like that. Why do you think I don't like it? Or why don't you like it? Or why would that be a mistake?
Well, one, we're in a relationship business, right? So like, you do business with people you're in a relationship with, and you can't be in a relationship with somebody that you've never talked to. So it's just inherently stupid to send an offer with no prior communication. What happened to me the other day was an agent sent an offer about 20 minutes after we accepted another offer, and their offer was better, but they never reached out, never tried to communicate or anything. They cost their client that house, and they cost my client some money too.
Yeah.
Just because they didn't say, hey, I'm sending an offer. Okay, cool. What does that offer look like? We're about to accept one. I want to know what yours looks like before we do.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
That's a great example. Where it cost those clients that they probably don't even realize. The client she's representing have probably no frame of reference to know, wow, the house that they wanted, they actually could have had if their agent would have been doing one simple thing, and that is just communicating about an offer, right?
And you're right. They will never know because she's not going to tell them.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
they took another offer.
Nope,
sorry.
They already took another offer, so it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, exactly. And I'm paying attention to these sort of like unwritten signals as a listing agent. What do I want? I want this transaction to go smooth. I want it to go quickly. Like, I want it to stay on time. I want it to stay on track. And a big key to that is communication and getting things done in a timely fashion. And if they're unwilling to communicate at the very beginning, when like that first impression, if they're unwilling to do that, it's not going to get any better, right?
Right.
Their communication skills are not going to improve vastly, when it counts, like when they're under contract.
Right. And people are just don't think about how important communication can be and building a rapport with the cross agent. Just yesterday, I had two offers on a property, and one of them was less than the other one. And the first agent was just terrible with communication. I didn't like dealing with him. He was like unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just reached out to my clients like, hey, do you mind if I tell this other folks what this offer looks like so we can maybe work with her because she's a little better to work with? He was like, yeah, that sounds good. Cool. So I called her. I said, hey, listen, this is the offer we have. If you can match it, we'll go under contract. She upped her offer. We signed the contract. And now I'm working with the agent that I like. And that's, I mean, it's so important. And if you can, you want to be the person that the agent comes back to and says, hey, I'd rather work with you.
Yep.
Here's what we're looking at. If you can match this or beat it, then you have this deal.
Yep. My clients on a listing just took an offer $5,000 less than the best offer, objectively the best offer. And they did it for, it was a variety of reasons. It wasn't just one thing at play. It wasn't just the dollar amount that was like the key thing. It was a multiplicity of factors, not the least of which was this agent has had really good communication, and that was a deciding factor in when we looked at all the offers on the table, that mattered. And so don't sleep on this, guys. I mean, this is a mistake that's completely 100% avoidable. If you're brand new to the business, you're not doing any offers yet, you can avoid this and never, ever, ever make this mistake. And if you're on the listing side, pay attention to this, right? A lot of times you can save you and your clients a lot of headache by working with someone that has really good, clear, honest, open communication. Because how much is an extra couple thousand worth to you and your clients if the whole deal falls apart anyway because of communication? You know, there's something to be said about a confidence and a peace of mind. And I pride myself on that as an agent. Like when I say, hey, we will get this done, or we are or aren't going to do this, we do it. Even if it costs me personally, no matter what, we get it done, you know, and people will remember that. All right, number 2, allowing clients to control the schedule. This is a plague mistake, especially for new agents. But I see so many experienced realtors even like, especially like a Facebook or something like that, like, you know, hashtag realtor life or life of a realtor. Like, it's Sunday night, I'm reviewing 17 things and doing whatever, life of a realtor. Like, oh man, I kind of like, I feel bad for them because I am also a realtor, but I don't seem to have that problem. And it's not because I don't have clients. So talk to me about that. What do you think?
Well, it's all about setting expectations. And, you know, I fell into this trap too when I first started. I always thought, you know, I'm going to be the guy that's always working and always taking care of things and getting things done. And I still do. Like, I do things outside of normal business hours. I don't want to say that I don't, but I don't forego opportunities with my family or other opportunities to work on real estate. I don't break plans to work on real estate under any circumstance. And I tell my clients, I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to be as available as anybody can be expected to be for a job. This is a job for me. I'm going to work regular business hours. I'm always going to be available. I may be available after hours sometimes, but if I'm doing things with my family or something like that, then that's family time. And I'm sure you understand. You know, I give them the opportunity to agree with me. That's one strategy to get them to agree to it. I was like, I'm sure you understand, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because nobody wants to be the person that tells you can't spend time with your family. And then once you have that agreement, then it's an understanding. And I get clients that'll text me something late at night and be like, hey, don't worry about responding until business hours, but blah, 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 you know?
Yep. And
they don't expect instant responses anymore, which has been very freeing for me.
Yeah, I think that there's actually a weird opposite in this, and I'll explain. That you want to appear busy and not lazy, but actually, if you allow the client to have you like, oh, I want to see They said I favorited some properties, and I look inside of my Lofty account, like where I have them on property alerts and stuff like that, and I see that they favorited like 18 properties yesterday. They're like, "Can we go look at houses?" And it's like I come back and say, "We can show you houses between 6 and 8 p.m. tomorrow night." So it looks like we can do 3. Looks like we could do 4 at the most. In that time frame, depending on which ones you want to see. Which are your absolute favorites that you feel like are must sees? Let's focus on those. And then so you don't want to seem lazy, like, oh, I showed 27 properties today, so that you can say that you showed 27 properties, but it's actually a super inefficient way to work, because you're expending a lot of time and energy for something everyone knows isn't going to result in any better of an outcome, any different of an outcome.
And it's the same when they send you stuff that's like well outside of their price range, or, and other agents will be like, well, I'm going to just show them so they can kind of, get an idea. It's like, no, you're not doing them any favors by showing them a house that's $300,000 outside of their price range.
Yep.
You need to tell them, right? You can't afford this.
And that's sort of like a little bit of where mistake number 1 comes in. As a general rule with communication is, you got to set the expectations. You got to set that at the beginning. And I'm going to do this training soon coming up on what we call our fit test. And so, guys, get into the Tactical Agents group. If you go to tacticalagents.com, you can get into the Facebook group, or if you look it up on Facebook, Tactical Agents, a better way to do real estate. If you find that group there, answer the questions, get in there. I will announce inside that group and to the email list when that training is going to be. But it's a training we do. It's a process we follow with our clients where we make sure we're a good fit, and in that fit test, we set the reasonable expectations of what we're going to do. Like, my clients know I don't work Sundays. I don't show houses on Sundays. I don't do that stuff on Sundays. I just don't. And I have been doing this for years, and no one has ever had a problem with that. Not a single person.
That was my next question. How many clients have fired you over that? Exactly.
None. And I did have a client recently. The buyer market is challenging in terms of inventory, so you do have to be on top of it in terms of getting into showings and making sure that you're doing your best work. But I paid another agent $75 for an hour of her time to go show 2 houses on a Sunday, and neither of those houses ended up being ones that we got. But the clients were taken care of, and it's like that's the price I pay to make sure that my time is protected. If this agent doesn't care about working on Sundays, cool. Her or any other 20 million agents in Michigan that will take $75 for an hour of their time will go show that house for me. Right. I'll still do the negotiations. I'll still do the contract writing. I'll still handle that stuff. And I don't work on Sundays. That's just the way it is. And you can set your own schedule. Don't allow the buyers to control that, or your sellers even. All right. Last one is losing. We had a hard time phrasing this one. Losing focus on filling your funnel, or trading current clients for future clients, maybe is another way to do that.
Right.
So talk to me about that.
So one of the biggest problems, especially with brand new agents, but this permeates across the board, and you hear people talk about the riding the roller coaster that is real estate, the ups and downs, the highs and lows. What that boils down to, at least this has been my experience in training and mentoring hundreds of agents for many years, is that they hyper focus when they get a client. And everything is about that client. Bang, 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 bang. And they don't do any of the things that got them that client. So especially if, let's say, they get 2 or 3 deals going at a time, and they're just constantly focusing on those clients. They're like that annoying waiter that just keeps coming back and asking if you want a drink, even though your drink's still full. They just keep coming over and over and over again. They kind of treat their clients like that. And then those 2 or 3 or 1 deals close, and then they turn around and they're like, I don't have any clients. Well, the reason you don't have any clients is because you didn't do anything to attract clients while you were working with these folks. So The way to avoid that is to protect your time, to have dedicated time that you spend every day to prospect and work on relationships and connect with people and invest in relationships. As for business, you have to keep doing those things even when you have clients. And, I've had as many as I think 15 homes under contract by me myself at one time. And that is incredibly stressful to do that many at one time. Mm-hmm. But I still managed to keep things going. And that, when I figured that out, that's when I went from being an agent who, made 75 or 100 grand a year to being somebody that was making significantly more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've said it before, and that is, if the national average is 6% of people moving every year, if you're just focused on the 6%, you're always focusing on the same pool of people. It will always be sort of like a grind, right? Mm-hmm. Or you could be in a healthy rhythm of focusing on the 94%, right? Your time is so much better spent filling your funnel, adding to the mm-hmm. pipeline, than it is on the actual pipeline itself, right? You have all sorts of things that can leverage, whether that's systems, right? Digital systems and programs that help manage client checklists and benchmarks, transaction coordinators, right? Like you can leverage that. It's sometimes worth the money, right? Mm-hmm. to do that, because in the end, you still have to do the work to get new clients. And so if you're able to focus on doing the things that get you the business, that's more than half the battle, is client acquisition. I mean, look at any realtor group. How do I get more leads? Where do you guys get leads, right? Everybody's looking for, how do I add people to the pipeline? Well, you got to find a way and a rhythm for that 94%. And that, again, is what we cover in the Tactical Agents book, which you get for free in the group.
Right, yeah. And that 94% is it's a broad target, right? Like when we were in law enforcement, they always taught us to aim for center mass of the largest available target, right?
Aim small, miss small.
Exactly. So there's like this peak of people, right? And they're heading up. If you can intercept them on the way up before they get to the point where they're ready to buy, and you become their realtor when they don't need one, they're going to need one. Mm-hmm. But then they don't have to go look for one. Then all the other realtors who are bombarding them in this moment when they're ready to go buy a home, you've circumvented all of that competition, even mm-hmm. though, and this is why we say there is no competition when you do it the right way. It's because you've already established that relationship as their realtor when they didn't need one. So You've already provided value. You've already been there for them. You've already, done the things that are necessary to win that client when there's nobody else around to be any kind of competition.
Yep.
And if you can keep that focus and do it all the time, man, that's when you're going to start making money.
Gotcha. All right, guys. That is 3 mistakes that you can avoid. So by all means, go avoid them. I don't know. What other mistakes would you add to the list that maybe you've made? You want to share that and let other people benefit from it? Or other things that you've seen other realtors make these mistakes? Drop them in the comments, all that good stuff. And we appreciate you guys listening and engaging with us, and we hope that this continues to grow. And we want the Tactical Agents group to be not only a good group, but like actually make a difference in the results that you're seeing in your business. So we're excited for you guys. We will talk to you in the next episode.